We reported earlier that the president has released his gun violence plan after meetings with students, politicians, and families. He's created a new federal commission on school safety to address increasing the minimum age for purchasing assault weapons, as well as a long list of other topics. Joining us now to discuss this is John Malcolm from the Heritage Foundation. John, welcome back.
Great to be with you, Lauren.
In a recently released document, the White House says that the administration is going to help states with money to provide firearms training to specially qualified personnel in schools. Is empowering states with more money to do activities like this the right approach?
Well, I might prefer that the funding would come directly from the states themselves, but if the federal government is going to get involved, I can certainly think of no better way for them to spend their money. It's worth noting that there are a lot of states that already allow specially trained teachers to conceal carry. Those schools have not had any incidents of violence, or people were afraid that guns would be lost or mishandled and students would be hurt. None of those fears have come to pass. And yes, using some federal funds to help in a variety of measures, including training teachers who are willing to carry firearms to deal with violent situations should they ensue, infrastructure improvements to improve school safety is money well spent.
But isn't this controversial? I mean, this is controversial. There are many people, including students who say, and teachers who say, hey, I don't want this.
Sure, it is controversial, and maybe some schools and states will decide that they don't want that, and that is their prerogative. I mean, these should be decisions that are made at the state and local level. Nonetheless, gun-free zones often attract people who are intent on wreaking mayhem, and as I say, a number of states allow teachers to conceal carry, and they haven't had any problems in those states.
So Florida passed a law last week. Governor Scott signed it with restrictions on guns.
Right.
The NRA has already sued to stop that law.
Right.
Are we likely to see more states pass laws? And is the NRA in control in wrapping it up by suing?
Well, the president has said that he thinks that these decisions should be made at the state level. Florida has taken this step. Other states may as well. The NRA objects to this. They note the fact that people who are younger than 21 often have families of their own, or they want to engage in self-defense or hunting or target practice. They're going to assert a Second Amendment violation. I don't know what's going to happen with those lawsuits. It is federal law that you can't buy a handgun before you're 21, but in part that passed constitutional muster because one could purchase another firearm for self-defense.
But the president had earlier said last month when he was meeting with lawmakers and the NRA, look, he is open to age limits. And now all of a sudden it's on this list of this blue ribbon commission that's going to be studied. Well, why did he back down?
That doesn't mean that he's not open to it. All he's saying is that there are certain steps that he can take immediately with respect to releasing federal funds and providing training by the Department of Justice. And what he can do immediately, he will do immediately. With respect to things that would require legislative fixes and other potential measures, not only to deal with school safety but gun control, he's going to have this commission study. It makes sense.
The U.S. bishops also weigh in on doing anything that can possibly be done and have urged Congress to adopt reasonable policies to help curb gun violence. And we'll see what they have to say about this most recent release from the White House. John Malcolm from the Heritage Foundation, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to be with you.